Hey there guys, so I'm just going to try to get out these final 3 wars like kind of as quick as I can, so I also put them all in fast forward just because while they're already pretty late, the season's over, you know where we finished if you play MCOC probably, so I just kind of like am speeding through these. So this was against SGA when every war that we get a matchup, like every single time, it's always just us like in our chat, just like why do we always get like the same like top 4 alliances just back to back like twice a season? Like we get no luck. These other alliances like they'll get like a lucky matchup here and there. And this one when we saw it, we didn't want to be like too big on the ego or like be too high on ourselves and then just like get wrecked by this alliance. But when we saw SGA, we weren't too worried. I think they finished Masters. I think they did. I don't honestly remember exactly. I'm a little bit tired right now, so that's why I don't remember exactly. I'm sorry. But I think they finished in Masters. So they're obviously like a competent alliance, but they're not quite, like Noon, JA, something like that, right? So we weren't really too worried going in. So for like that fight's obviously the last time I took that path with Doom, I had like an Odin pre-fight for myself, so that way I could give myself the buffs, and I didn't have to worry about his Furies. But this time, I was not given the Odin, so he was gaining those Furies, and I was like, when I think I threw my SP3, I think it reset his Furies, I think is what happened. So that's pretty good. But the fight wasn't like anything too hard, it's just a Silver Surfer. I just had to make sure I didn't get hit, which is why I put on the Invul. And right there, I didn't get greedy that time. I think I made that mistake like 2 times in the season up until this war, where I was like, yeah, I have 5 seconds left on my boost, I'll get in time, and then I don't do it. So right there, I put on the pre-fight, and I actually do get it, but I honestly didn't really need to put it on because I went for the intercept right away. I asked someone for a video of this fight, and they were saying, yeah, the Mojo has, really good AI usually when you're using Doom, and I was like, oh, cool. So right here, I was like fishing for some different like intercepts. I'm like, okay. If I don't get one here, I was like, I'll just go in one more time. Okay, I got it. So I got that big Fury, right, that removes his damage reduction, it gives me extra attack. Throw my SP3, which gives me a Fury. If you wanted to be like as safe as you could, you wouldn't throw your SP3 in this fight with Doom, because if it times incorrectly, you'll get the degen on you. But I was pretty confident that I'd be able to time it well enough, and that I would kill before, 1, I'd kill before my Fury falls off, 2, that I would be able to time it where he would not be in his anti-death field. That's all I had to do. This Killmonger, I've taken this before. I've sometimes in the past had an issue on this fight with like different champions, but usually in season I'm fine against this fight. It's usually like off season or something, I'll go in with like a CGR, and like I wasn't boosted, and it can get a little bit weird for when you're doing that. But with like Doom and boosts, it's pretty comfortable for me at this point. So it's going pretty well. I just pretty much need to keep the armor break on. And I got the intercept, so I got my Fury. I got my armor break, so he doesn't have his reverberation. He lost his armor rating because Killmonger's base armor, I believe it is not that high. But it's the armor passive that he gets that makes it so he has a lot of like the resistances and stuff. So right here, I throw my medium, and to make sure I got to my SP3 and he didn't get to his, I ended up using another light attack instead of being smart and ending on a heavy attack to armor break. And when I realized that, I was so worried that like I was gonna take like 30,000, like 15,000 damage in reverberation and be like dead for some reason. Fortunately, that's not what happened. It was only like a couple thousand because it wasn't the biggest SP3. Maybe this isn't like the highest Sig Killmonger, but it didn't do too much, which is nice. And then this is the final fight of the war for me, was this Nova mini-boss. This is the longer fight of the war, I believe. Again, this is my officer right after I did the R4 Doom. He wasn't like too happy when I did the rank 4 Doom. We were like talking about the options, and for him, Doom was the lowest of the 3 kind of that we were discussing. But when I did, after I've done the rank 4 Doom, I've basically had like all Doom wars, so I mean part of that's just like, right, you're gonna assign what your player has, and rank 4 is obviously better, but It's funny. But this fight is just pretty slow. That's really all there is to it. It's slow because I don't want to risk the intercepts, and then my SP2 also doesn't really do damage because they made Nova a hard Ghost and Corvus counter, so not only do guaranteed crits like do no damage, but unblockable specials feed his charges and do less damage. So if I had gone for intercepts here at some point, which there are points that I could have, right, when like he has low charges or no Fury, I do know when I can go for the intercepts, but I was just like, I'll just get up my 2 Furies, I'll use Mystic Dispersion on him to remove his like 1 or 2 buffs, I'll use my Power Steal, and I'll just kill him, like, right there, because he threw his SP2, and I didn't get in quick enough afterwards. I lost my my 2 Furies, but it probably would have been like the SP3 right here would have just killed, but instead I think I just have to go for like, yeah, I just eat an SP1 to the face accidentally. So right here, I just do a combo, and if I didn't kill it, I would have just thrown the SP2. It would have done enough damage. And here is why I said we were not too worried going into this war. It was 34-3. It was a bit of an unlucky matchup for them. As you see, it's +3 -4. Like +3 minus, that's a lot. That's a very big gap. For them, it was like a plus like 60 or something if they were to win, maybe more. It was crazy. But yeah, that's why we weren't too worried going into the war. So that was that war. As you saw, we won. It was a good war to them. All wars are fun, pretty much. So I'll be seeing you guys soon. Hope you had a good one. Bye.